In 2004, Sonic Advance 3 was released to slightly above average scores from most review sites, and is considered by many to be the weakest in the trilogy. All I ask is, why? Advance 2 was pretty damn bad, and this one is... well, let's review it. You may be wondering why I'm reviewing this so soon after the second game. Well, probably not, but anyway, Advance 2 left a bad taste in my mouth, and I knew that I considered this game to be fairly good, so I decided to give it another go. It had been a while, so what did I think of it? Well, let's get on with this, shall we? The plot of this game is pretty poorly explained. You can get the general idea, but the specifics are a bit foggy. Dr. Eggman is back at his poorly executed schemes. This time, he creates Gemerald, a robot based off Emerald from Sonic Battle. He uses the Chaos Emeralds to perform what is dubbed as Chaos Control by Wikipedia. Seriously? This is Chaos Control? Alright, whatever floats your boat. This tears the Earth apart. Wait, what? Chaos Control is powerful enough to do that? If you say so. He does this with the intent of creating Eggman Land, on each chunk of the planet, apparently. I need to find a source for this. I played this game about 10 years ago, give or take, and all of the... Apparently it was in the instruction manual all along. Alright then. According to Wikipedia, Eggman captures Amy, Knuckles and Cream in this process. But the manual says otherwise, so I'm calling bullshit, Wikipedia. So yeah, the plot is a bit more involved than the previous titles, and fortunately, the game does not feel the need to shove it down your throat, like something like Shadow the Hedgehog does. So that's the big plus. I enjoyed this game just fine without knowing all of the details. The game explains Eggman's intent to create Eggman Land, and to be honest, that's about all you need for a platformer like this. The opening of the game was a bit confusing since it never really gets explained, unless you read the damn manual apparently, but overall, the plot is simple enough and it doesn't get in the way of the game. Thank God for that. Fortunately, the gameplay has improved greatly from Advance 2. Thank God. I'm gonna try and balance the good and bad this time instead of flooding this section with negatives, like I did in the Advance 2 review. The game controls as well as the previous titles. Again, the controls are smooth and I have absolutely no issue with them. So yeah, good stuff. But new to this game is the friend system. Think Tails from Sonic 2, but actually useful. Unlike the first two games in the series, all of the characters share the same campaign, so you aren't forced to start from scratch to play as another character this time. When you start up, you're able to choose your character, but this time you also get to choose your partner as well. Each partner brings something new to the table, and this gives a phenomenal sense of variety between characters. Want Sonic to play like he normally does? Then pick Tails as your partner. Want Knuckles to have Amy's gameplay style from Advance 1? Want Tails to have a hammer? No problem. Want every character to have a chow? Well, you just want to make the game too easy, but yeah, you can do it too if you want. Cream is still broken, and she can break other characters too. But that isn't all the friend system is used for. By holding the R button, you can activate special abilities for each of the characters. Tails' is by far the most useful, as he sends you flying into the air, which is great in case you miss the upper path by accident or just want to cheat out of doing a platforming section like this. Oh yeah, that's another thing which has been greatly improved. The level design is, in my opinion, far superior to Advance 2. This time the alternate paths are more common and actually mean something. Like the classics, you get rewarded for taking the harder to reach upper paths. More goodies like rings and shields, and avoiding those, oh god, annoying bottomless pits. The level design also caters to the fact that boost mode is back, and it does it much better than Advance 2 did. If there's a section where you have to be precise, then you'll usually be given some way to slow down quickly. For example, here you hit a wall and fall into the platforming area, and here you cannot fall off until you jump intentionally. So yeah, this game is designed much better than Advance 2. It's not flawless, granted. Some levels can be very linear, especially in levels like Cybertrack. But generally, I enjoyed this game much more than Advance 2. You may be wondering why I compare these two games so much. Well, because I honestly feel this was a step in the right direction for this style of gameplay particularly. The boost mode from Advance 2 wasn't inherently bad, but the game was not designed well enough around it, especially towards the end of the game. So, to be honest, I can't help but compare them. Unfortunately, one design flaw which hasn't been fixed is the bottomless pits. Seriously, Dimps does have a fetish for these things. They only serve to add artificial difficulty, and they are not good design choices. This game can be very treacherous towards the end, especially in the final zone, but at least the times you fly into bottomless pits unknowingly is decreased a bit in this game. Sky Canyon. Another thing which has been shaken up from the second game is the bosses. Sweet Honey Nut Cheerios are these bosses a lot better. That sounded a little bit dumb. Very dumb. But firstly, you aren't running around all the time, so no matter what the game threw at me, I'd still say these bosses are better than Advance 2. But they did one better than that. These bosses are unique? Sonic having unique boss fights? Finally. It only took, what, 10 years? Some of the bosses are a pain, sure. This one terrifies the shit out of me every time I play it, because it's essentially one giant bottomless pit. But other than that one, yeah, I like these bosses. My favourites are probably the one from Sunset Hill, and the penultimate boss. Each boss is unique in its own way, thankfully, and I will praise this game for being different. In fact, I'd even say that the bosses in this one match those found in the original Advance. Quite the antithesis of the ones in Advance 2, I'd say. Another thing I'd like to mention is the ranking system. It's a basic bronze, silver and gold system, but it's very satisfying to get the gold, because your characters have a special little animation and a longer jingle. It encourages replaying levels and gives you an incentive to do so. But with that said, one final complaint I have is the fact that the special stage entry is still a bit of a pain. It's miles better than Advance 2, but it forces way too much exploration onto the player. Each level has 3 or 4 Chow hidden inside. They're quite small and quite hard to spot in some places. They're scattered throughout the level, and once all 10 in a zone are collected, you find a key in a stage, use the spring in the hub world, and away you go. These stages are probably the most fun out of the Advanced trilogy, but entering them is quite a pain. With all of the emeralds in hand, you can again unlock the final boss. In this one, Gamerl betrays Eggman, forcing Sonic and Eggman to team up in a fight, with the latter acting as your partner. Now this is a really cool idea, but again, collecting the Chow to get here is just a pain in the ass, and it's not worth it. Game Shark away, I say. So moving on, we have the graphics. The characters are just as polished looking as ever, so no complaints at all. The art for the levels feels a lot different than Advance 2's though, but I like it. Again, we have a lot of varied environments, and apart from a few, many of them feel quite unique to this game. Ocean Base is a visually different stage, and Toy Kingdom, while similar to Music Plant in many regards, is still a lot of fun, and this game looks damn impressive for the system. For the third time in a row, the graphics are great for this system. The music is generally a mixed bag this time around. When it's good, oh damn it's good. Best in the trilogy kind of good. But when it's weaker, well, it's still alright, but some of the tracks aren't too noteworthy. Ocean Base has a rather dull track, but on the other hand, Route 99 and Cybertrack have awesome music. So here are the results as they stand. Advance 3, in my opinion, is one of the more underappreciated Sonic games. It certainly isn't flawless, and the bottomless pits are my biggest issue with the game. And it is a very big issue. But after playing Advance 2 before this, I can't help but feel like this game got shafted. It's definitely better than Advance 2. It brings way more new ideas to the table than that game did, and it improves on the gameplay which it tried to have. So that's why I'll give Sonic Advance 3 my rating of Play It. Unlike its predecessor, this one is actually worth your time. Fun levels, a quick pace with a few frustrating moments. It's one that can be missed, but if you're looking for something to play, then this is certainly something to consider. I've been That Guy from NI. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.